members of our Young Diplomacy Association, architects of our future, dear young people, esteemed participants, I greet you all with my heartfelt feelings, respect, and affection. Through you, I send my greetings and love to all my young brothers and sisters in our 81 provinces, as well as in different corners of our diaspora and cultural geography. I am very pleased to be with you on the island of democracy and freedoms at the closing ceremony of the Bosphorus Diplomacy Forum. At the very beginning of my words, after the May 27th coup, I remember with mercy our martyrs who were subjected to humiliation and torture here. Prime Minister Adnan Menderes, Foreign Minister Fatin Rüştüzoğlu, and Treasury and Finance Minister Hasan Polatkan. May God bless their souls and grant them paradise, hopefully for years. This island has been etched into our nation's memory as the island of Mona, and I am pleased to see it hosting such gatherings with its new identity. The Bosphorus Diplomacy Forum, which stands out with its content and format, has been successfully organized again this year. I extend my congratulations to all the members of our Young Diplomacy Association and to each of my brothers who contributed to the program. To our association that broadens the horizons of our youth with panels and conferences as well as workshops and reading programs, bringing together today's leaders with tomorrow's architects. I sincerely thank you.
Within the scope of the forum,
I hope that the events organized over the course of 3 days will be beneficial for all of us, especially for our young people who are devoted to international relations and diplomacy. I also congratulate our young friends who develop their skills in representation, negotiation, and problem solving at this important forum conducted under the title of Diplomacy in the Light of History. With great diligence, I also extend my gratitude to the valuable participants who convey this to our young people. Here, I find it beneficial to share with our young brothers and sisters, our young people in high school and university, like you, need not only knowledge but also depth, expertise, experience. The work in this field, which requires enthusiasm, is extremely important for the future of our country. For the strong future of our country, every young person who works selflessly, presents ideas and works, and strives to build the Turkey of the future is valuable to us. They are a star of hope for our future. The century of Turkey, where we will not only guide the era but also leave our own mark, is the effort of our youth and will be embodied through their work. In the coming years, each of you in politics, academia, bureaucracy, media, civil society, and diplomacy, you will undertake duties for our country, our nation, and especially Turkish foreign policy. I believe it will gain a structure where it becomes very, very important. I wish you all success in advance, and may God open your path and fortune. Dear young people, esteemed participants on the international political stage, we are going through a challenging and historic period marked by tectonic shifts. As the intensity of global competition increases day by day, the vortex of uncertainty and instability waves spreading, because crises and conflicts cannot be resolved through peaceful means. Political and economic struggles unfortunately move to war and conflict zones where great human tragedies occur. From water and climate crises to trade wars, from energy security to the healthy functioning of food chains, we are facing various challenges. As of today, we can see this scene very clearly. The order established by the victors after the Second World War has lost its prestige along with its integrity. Universal values has been shelved, governance mechanisms have collapsed, legitimacy derived from rules and principles. The international system has been completely paralyzed. Global peace and security have given way to an endless vortex of war and instability. The right has been abandoned in the face of the wrong, the oppressed in the face of the oppressor, the weak in the face of the strong. Human rights and human dignity has been wounded. Feelings like justice, conscience, and compassion have been silenced. There is a very large systemic crisis that no one can deny. However, the current global system, established 80 years ago, was founded to prevent another war and another genocide, learning from the lessons of the Second World War that occurred in the 20th century. Like the United Nations Security Council, the purpose of such mechanisms was to prevent wars, stop conflicts, and avert humanitarian disasters. However, at this point, the structures that should be the key to the solution have become part of the problem. They are condemned and compelled to justice. Dear young people, esteemed guests, when we say the global system has collapsed, we are not saying this for rhetoric. On the contrary, as a country, we are located in a region that bears the entire burden of this bankrupt system. Almost all the crises, tensions, genocides, conflicts, and oppressions dominating the current global agenda are happening in this geography. Even though Turkey rises as a pillar of stability in its region, it is not a country distant from events. We all know this very well. When our neighbor's house is on fire, just as we cannot be at ease, we cannot be at peace when there is trouble in our region. Moreover, those struggling with crises and oppressions are our brothers, our century-old, millennium-old neighbors. Can a person turn their back on their neighbor? Can a person remain indifferent to the troubles of their brothers? Of course not. This country and this noble nation have never said, "What is it to me?" at any point in history. It has not turned its back on the geography of the earth. It has not ignored calls for help, no matter where in the world they come from. Without considering distance, Muslim or non-Muslim, without looking at anyone's belief, sect, or origin, they have rushed to the aid of those who cry for help. This was the case yesterday, and it is the same today. Even if everyone else remains indifferent, We cannot be insensitive to the pains, oppressions, and endless conflicts in our region. To produce solutions, to lead solutions, it is our duty, our historical and moral responsibility. Gaza's, Yemen's, every life lost on the streets of Syria, Sudan, and Somalia takes a piece of our own. You watched it on the screen. You saw what is happening in Palestine, in their hands. You watched how they strive to get a bowl of soup, a bowl of food, with pots from there. We also feel the drama of the children struggling with hunger deep in our hearts. In the face of this heartbreaking scene, we often put not just our hands, but our entire being forward. Dear young people, I want our young friends watching us on their screens to know this. We have only one goal, that is for peace, tranquility, and stability in the region to be strong. Ensuring this. As Turkey, we are concerned with paving the way for this, with the state wisdom that has been refined over thousands of years and our foreign affairs tradition that has surpassed 5 centuries. With our growing economy, established institutions, and principled foreign policy, the fires in our region, we strive to extinguish them. We never see foreign policy as a zero-sum game. We wholeheartedly believe that peace, prosperity, and stability increase when shared. The wise words attributed to Hazrat Mevlana, one of the spiritual architects of Anatolia, are among our fundamental reference sources in internal and external politics. That Heart Sultan says, "A candle loses nothing by lighting another candle." Did you record it? These are important. Yes, this is essentially the whole issue. The issue is not to fuel instability, to escalate conflict and strife and to seek profit from it, but to focus on winning together. Hoping for gain from others' tragedies is opportunism. It is heartlessness. It is trading in blood. We have not been like this. We will never be like this. I must particularly express this. Turkey, without any complexes, in a manner befitting its history, civilization, and greatness, an actor who can meet with every group working for peace, stability, tranquility, and justice, and whom everyone trusts, human-centered, proactive, entrepreneurial, and with our multidimensional foreign policy approach, we aim to maximize the resolution of regional and global issues. We contribute, we have done this for 14 years in our neighbor Syria. We stood by the oppressed Syrians with all our means against the tyranny of the blood-stained regime. Even when many countries in the world turned their backs on the Syrian people, we never left them alone. In the same way, we did this in the Russia-Ukraine war. While war barons poured gasoline on the fire, we worked for a just peace. Now in Palestine, we are doing this in Gaza. Dear young brothers and sisters, you are also closely following.
For two full years in Gaza, a horrifying and shameful genocide has been taking place in front of the whole world. Netanyahu and his massacre team are targeting Palestinian civilians with the most modern weapons.
Bombs are raining down on the innocent. In Gaza, the elderly, children, even babies in incubators, are mercilessly targeted by this massacre gang. Are being massacred in Gaza. Hunger is recklessly used as a weapon of mass destruction. Health workers trying to save lives and journalists documenting the genocide are being killed in front of the world's eyes. But what happened?
Here is the translation of the provided text. Yesterday, at the United Nations Security Conference, the murderer called Netanyahu had to address those empty seats in the hall. The cry of the oppressed will eventually be avenged.
Over 2,500 Palestinians have been killed at the so-called aid distribution points since May 27. More than 18,500 people were injured. Since October 7th, nearly 66,000 Palestinians in Gaza, most of them children and women, were martyred. The number of injured has approached 170,000. We opened our hospitals and we are treating these injured in our hospitals. Our doors are open on this matter. We are providing and will continue to provide all kinds of support we can. In Palestine, many more pains, dramas and massacres that do not reach the media are happening. However, the reactions and cries rising from conscientious people all around the world instill hope in Palestine and Gaza. Look, right now, while we are holding the diplomacy forum here, the Sumut fleet has set sail in the Mediterranean, heading towards Gaza. Activists and volunteers from different countries, different beliefs and different colors, but with a conscience and unarmed, are bringing aid to Gaza. We also send our greeting to the hope travelers of the Sumut flotilla who are subjected to state terror by Israel. May God clear their paths and protect them, we say. Dear young people, dear brothers and sisters, do not forget, if the oppressors have a plan, Allah also has a plan. And that plan will ultimately prevail. I seek refuge in Allah, in the name of Allah.
This account
completely different. No plan can surpass God's plus. And we have experienced this. We are experiencing it. God willing, we will experience it. Many losses were suffered in Gaza. The oppressed people of Gaza have paid very heavy prices. 2.5 million people squeezed into 365 square kilometers. Was subjected to the most brutal genocide in history. Despite all this destruction and brutality, the Gaza genocide also led to a global awakening.
Yesterday, the head of the genocide network, as I mentioned earlier, found no one to listen to his lies and threats at the United Nations General Assembly. And he spoke to empty seats. Until today, those who turned a deaf ear, we see that now, began to awaken from the slumber of negligence.
The issue in Gaza, those who reduce it to the Hamas context are slowly realizing that it's not like that at all. It is becoming increasingly clear that Israel's issue is not just Gaza. The attack on Qatar in particular also revealed Israel's true intentions. It was once again seen that stopping the monster is essential. The increase in the number of states recognizing Palestine is due to the global awakening caused by Gaza. You know, it has now exceeded 150. It is a fact that the recognition of Palestine, although late, is an important step. Wherever the wrong done to our Palestinian brothers for decades is corrected, we only be appreciated. However, we cannot help but ask this question. Could these steps not have been taken earlier? Could support for Palestine not have been provided before 65,000 innocents died? Could Palestine not have been officially recognized before it was rendered unrecognizable by the massacre squad? I know some people will be uncomfortable, but we are obliged to ask these questions to prevent Israeli aggression. This self-criticism must definitely be done by those it concerns. I believe it is essential for everyone to have this reckoning within themselves so that the blood of the innocent in Gaza is not shed in vain. Otherwise, the blood of innocent children, women, and people will continue to be victims of political calculations. Without stopping Israel, the will for a Palestinian state will remain incomplete. First and foremost, Netanyahu's cabinet and the genocide team must be immediately tried and punished. Deterrent sanctions, including banning from international sports tournaments, should be applied to Israel. The decision made by Spain cannot be set aside right now. Our Football Federation president has also expressed his stance on this issue. We will also evaluate this. We will certainly do it. The Israeli government should be made to pay the bill for the destruction in Gaza, which amounts to $100 billion. The measures Turkey has taken against Israel in trade and other areas should serve as an example to other countries. They too must start taking similar steps. Otherwise, the chaos will not remain within the Middle East borders. This fire will engulf the whole world. We will continue to work to prevent the flames from spreading further and to ensure peace and tranquility in our region. Young people, I see this in your eyes. May God be our helper and
supporter. With these thoughts, I once again hope that the Bosphorus Diplomacy Forum will lead to good outcomes. I extend my thanks once again to everyone who contributed to the program. I wish success to each of our young people in their endeavors and congratulate each of them individually. I greet you once again with love and respect.
I see you as the young people who will transform Yasadeh into a strong island of democracy and freedoms. Thank you. Be well. May God protect you. We extend our gratitude to our esteemed President.